A number of you have asked me to go into my bottle cutter construction a little deeper, so that's what I'm going to do today. Now, the first thing you're going to need, naturally, is a bottle cutter. Now, you can buy these down at the hardware store. They're just a standard bottle cutter. These are two different makes, but they're basically the same, as you can see. And after you get one of those, what you have to do is you have to construct a cradle for your bottle and a stand that holds your bottle cutter. Now, if you get a piece of pencil and the paper, I'll tell you the measurements of these things. I just made this out of 3/4 inch plywood that I had laying around the shop here. Okay? Alright, for your cradle. Now, your cradle area in here will depend on your bottle. You want to make it to where your bottle rests down in there. Now, I put a piece of felt in there just to make it easier for the bottle to turn in the cradle, okay? But basically all these bottles are pretty much the same size. This one's a little larger, but it'll work okay. You need two of those. Now, I put a block on the back of this one to keep the bottle stationary in the cradle so it can't move back and forth. So you'll need two of these. They're 2 inches up to the cradle bottom and 4.5 inches wide. And like I say, it's made out of 3/4 inch plywood, and I just put a piece of felt on each piece. For the center, to keep them apart, this is just a piece of 2x4. It's 2.5 inches wide, and your 2x4 is about 3.5 inches wide up here, okay? And these just go together just like that. Let me put them on here. Just like that, see, and that will hold your bottle. Okay? Now, for this part, let me just move those to the side a minute. This part here, again, this is a piece of 2x4. It's 5.25 inches long, and here's another piece of 3/4 inch plywood, the same length as it is down here. I made mine 2 inches wide, okay? Now, up here on top, you can see right in there, I scooped out for this little ball, so when I screw this thing down, it will set level on the top of this block. See there, that ball goes down into that depression I carved out. And on my saw, I ripped out just a little channel there, just the width of the saw blade, to where the part that hangs down on your bottle cutter will go down into the wood like that and set level. You want this handle, see, it wouldn't set level if you did either this part or this part up here, and you want that to set down level, okay? And I went and I put, let's see, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 layers of inner tube in between these things. What that does is that's going to bring this cutter right up against that bottle, which is what you want, but it's also going to give you a little cushion to when it's in place and you get ready to cut your bottle, you center this thing right underneath the very bottom middle part of the bottle, just like that. I'm going to screw this all together, and this little cushion is when you press down on the bottle, it gives you a little flex, and it pushes this thing up against your bottle. So when you turn it, it'll cut it nice and clean. And if you look on the, I think it's the Bottle Stopper video series, you'll see me cutting one of these bottles, cutting the neck of one of these bottles. It's very simple to do. Okay, I've got a couple extra minutes here, so I'll show you. I'll go ahead and break off a bottle top here just to show you what we're going to do. Alright, here's your bottle, and like I say, what we're going to do, we're going to put the bottle in the cradle, and we're going to scribe a line around the neck of the bottle first, okay? Now, here's a bottle I've already done that on. See the scribe mark? You want to make sure it goes all the way around the bottle, and you get a good scribe mark, okay? So what you do is you lay your bottle in your cradle, and you should hear it hit this glass cutter because you want it there so it can scribe. And just hold down on your bottle as you move it around. And you can hear that scribe little wheel cut into the glass as you do that. Hear it? There, I'm going all the way around. I'm just going to go around once more. There we go. Now that's the beauty of this block back here. It keeps your bottle in position so you get a nice straight scribe, okay? So with that done, now what we want to do is we want to heat up that scribe line. So when you run cold water on it, it fractures. It's going to get all smoky, but that's okay. That should be plenty. Now I'm going to run into the bathroom there and soak this thing real quick. All right, I'm back. Run it in the cold water. I'm going to wrap it in this towel so I'm not going to risk cutting my fingers. And then I'm just going to tap this into the bottle on the table here, and hopefully it's going to break right on that scribe line. There, it broke. Let's see what happened here. Okay, there we go. See there? Broke right on that scribe line. Now, if there is an instance where it might break uneven like that, but with the little mounts that I make, and let me grab one of those real quick. All right, here we go. With the little mounts I make, what I do is I put a roll of silicone, just clear silicone sealant, down in the bottom here. Let me wipe off that smoke. And that imperfection there will be hidden down at the bottom of that impression. See there? Looks pretty good, huh? Quick and easy, and saves you a lot of money because, like I say, I just built this thing out of scrap, and this is just some cedar that I had laying around. You can use any kind of wood to make your base. Just make sure it's a nice pretty wood. And I drilled my hole here with a Forstner bit, which gives me a flat hole, and I just picked a drill that was the same size as my cut here. It could be just a little large. This one's pretty tight because I drilled it for one of these other bottles, but you'll find a drill that will be big enough, and it'll just snap down in there in your silicone and it'll hold it in place. Okay? I hope that explains everything to you, and now you won't have any trouble building your own.